Hey y'all, it's Redneck back at 109. Just riding home on my little two-wheeler. It's kind of really nice outside, actually. It's supposed to get rain the rest of the week, so who knows? It's like 40% chance. Finally, the weather's like warmer. Like last week, it was in like the 60s, like low 60s. This week, it's going to be like in the 70s, but rain chances all week. So, shit happens, right? Actually, I need to get out and learn how to ride in the rain. I've never ridden in it, so I don't really know. I'll have to find a little, do it in my little subdivision or whatever, figure some shit out. I'm sure there's a YouTube video on it somewhere. I don't know. So I was driving home last night, or riding home last night, and it's kind of work's kind of got me pissed off. And recently at work they did this survey, and so I work for a pretty large agency, and it was an ethics survey. Ethics, you know, a dreaded E word, you know. And so, like, I'm kind of in a situation where I've discovered that my boss, he's like, I don't know, in charge of all of the other supervisors and just regular non-supervisory employees like myself. Well, I've discovered through, totally by accident, that he has lied about his qualifications, and he's lied about places that he's worked, and you know, well, there's the penalties. All right. And I kind of want to do something about it, but I don't know what to do about it. You know, I don't. First of all, you know, I think, and I'm pretty sure he knows. People know. I mean, and he's not addressed it, and he should address it. You know, he should have got out in front of it, and he didn't. He's just kind of letting it fester. And so, like, I just thought it was funny that, you know, how poetic that it was that there was an ethics survey kind of sent out to everyone. And so I just, you know, and I've worked at this place for 7 years almost, and they do these, have done these surveys before, and, you know, I've, you know, diligently filled them out, and they're supposedly anonymous, but somehow they know if you don't do it, so figure that one out. And, well, so I let him have it. You know, I just said, you know, it's kind of hard to believe in the company's ethics policy when you allow people, such as my boss, to remain employed when they've clearly violated it. And you know, like, to me, you know, I think, you know, your ethics have to be in line with whatever it is that you do, whatever company you work for, whether it's your own. If it's your own company, well, then your ethics, your company's ethics policy is what you set. And then you lead by example. And so if you have shitty ethics, and you know, when you come on board, you make this big broad introduction, and you tell everybody who you are, what you are, and you say things, you know, to your division, you know, like, you know, tolerate this and don't tolerate that, and, you know, you should have a, well, he called it a bullshit meter, and that you shouldn't tolerate bullshit, and you don't have to tolerate bullshit. And so, like, sometimes in a customer service type oriented field that I'm in, you have to tolerate a lot of bullshit, and we all do every day. I'm not saying that I'm any different than all of y'all, but when you realize that the bullshit you've been tolerating is not from your customers, but from your alleged leadership, And I don't know, it's frustrating to me to find this stuff out. I mean, I wish I didn't know. I mean, you know, they say ignorance is bliss. But now that I do know, I'm not sure what to do with the information, because I would bet that my division chief's boss doesn't know. Because how can you tolerate that? I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, like if you are, you know, in the supposed leadership position, and sorry, I had to open my visor, it's fogging up a little bit, and you're trying to, you know, encourage your employees to take pride in their job and do everything correct and all this other stuff, and what you see is your boss playing favorites. You see your boss tolerating unethical behavior by others, and you're confused as to why. Like, why would he tolerate this? And then you come to find out, well, the reason he's tolerating all this is because he's not ethical himself. And that's just the truth. You know, and I don't, like I said, I'm not sure what I want to do with the information. You know, I think it was kind of funny. We have an employee who's extremely more unethical than our leadership is, and he's done all kinds of crazy things, and we were all just kind of surprised that he's still an employee. And so our quote-unquote leader was away for a amount of time, so someone else was acting on his behalf, and he did a really outstanding job, and which I wasn't really surprised. I mean, I know he's got the ability, I think he's got the desire too, and I think he's matured a lot, and so he filled that position well. And but my point is that this employee who was acting out, and the problem became, someone made the big boss, the company boss, CEO, whatever you want to call him, aware of the problem with this employee, and he got demoted, which is what should have happened, because he was continually violating policy. And when it was brought to the attention of the quadrad, or whatever you want to call it, leadership, action was taken. And then lo and behold, the boss comes back from his assignment, and then in a meeting he tells, and this was turned in anonymously, so no one knows who did it. I wish I did, because I'd go shake their hand. And he has the big boss has the nerve to say that he was disappointed in the person who did it. Well, you know what? That's what got action. You know what I mean? That's what, I mean, whoever did it did my division a favor, because now this person's no longer in a pseudo leadership position, and he got knocked down a peg. It's not changed his behavior any, but I think it made others feel better for a while. He still shouldn't be an employee, but when you go back to the root cause of the issue, you realize that it's because your leadership has no ethics. Not all of my leadership, but 2 people in our chain of command have no leadership and no ethics. And when you question it, or you challenge it, and you can challenge things respectfully, and which is I always try to do that. I mean, I do speak my mind, don't get me wrong. I mean, I don't sugarcoat anything, and I'm not going to. I don't have to. That's not, you don't accomplish anything going through life by sugarcoating things and being delicate when the situation doesn't call for that. I'm not talking about finesse. So my camera just kind of rudely cut me off there. I've been trying to use this DVR, not DVR, but the tagging mode, and I guess if you don't tap it again after 5 minutes or something, it just stops recording. But what I was saying was about, you know, how you need to use a little bit of finesse, and like, you can't just be a bull in a china shop all the time. It doesn't work that way. I found that out the hard way, you know. And I think, you know, very early in my career, thankfully, I had a really good person who is a leader pull me aside and, you know, kind of just talk about finesse. And I think it's one of the things I forget too in my personal life, is to finesse a situation versus just being that bull in the china shop. And I just feel like that the people that are currently in our, two of the people and sometimes a third in our leadership, just kind of let things go ethically by the wayside. And, you know, it'll be interesting. We have this I don't know what an evaluation coming up where people come and look at what we do and make sure what we're doing is the right thing. And I know that 2 of the 4 are fucking. I mean, well, I don't know for sure, but it wouldn't surprise me if there wasn't a little creative paperwork being done. You know, I mean, I know I've personally been asked to put my signature on things that I refuse to do. I refuse to fabricate documents. I refuse to sign things that I don't have any knowledge of. And, you know, if there's a policy that you violate and it could even remotely be considered a criminal act, you can kiss my ass. I don't care who you are. I'm not signing it. I'm not witnessing it. I'm not agreeing to it. I'm not doing any of those things. And over the last year, I've been asked on 4 separate occasions to put my name on and sign things by one supervisor in particular, and I won't do it. I'm not gonna do it. I don't care who you are or what you are. So I just think this survey is I doubt there will be any outcome of the survey. That I think what they've done basically is they wasted my time, and I guarantee you the people who want the survey results didn't create the survey, so they've wasted a bunch of other people's time, not to mention employees nationwide completing this survey. And it's fucking ridiculous because they won't go by it. They won't use the results. And I think it's very frustrating as a mid-level employee to see this and witness it daily. You know, and I'm, you know, without just being too cocky, I'm really good at what I do. I would be a lot better at what I do if I knew the people above me supported me, and I don't feel that they do. So it's hard to go out and perform to a high standard when you don't have that support. And I've gone the extra mile. I'm in the middle of some stuff at work where I do stuff on my own time for a program that I'm in that I volunteered to do. You know, and it's frustrating. It really is frustrating, especially when you want to get ahead and you've got, you know, people like this above you, and it makes it hard for those, because what happens ultimately is that, like, by my refusing to do certain things because it's unethical, a violation of policy, or, you know, who knows, maybe even criminal, that makes me look like I'm not a team player, when in actuality, you know, I support the team and I fight for the team. And I think that's one of the messages that the boss said very early on, and said, you know, he talks about his bullshit meter, don't put up with bullshit. Well, I'm not putting up bullshit with you either. It's there you have it. You don't want me to put up with bullshit from our customers, then by God, I'm not putting up from you either. So But I would be really interested in hearing what people have to say, what they think. You know, it's just my thoughts. So I'll leave with you that. I'll leave that with you. You know. So as always, you know, thanks for watching. I appreciate the views, and you know, I really would like to hear your opinion. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Y'all have a good one.